Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to a packed edition of the Badger Beer Report. I am Greg, your host, founder and editor in chief of Badger Beer Report. And joining me, as always, is the man with the finger and the pulse of the pint, the director of brewing, research, and outreach for Badger Beer Report, Joel Geyer. How you doing, Joel?
Good, Greg. It's our first time getting together for this in the year of 2026. So it's exciting to get the ball rolling as we have a lot planned for the upcoming year. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, tonight we're loaded with exclusives. We got breaking news out of Beaver Dam. We are checking in on Deux City and Prairie du Chien. We are counting down the final days to the imminent grand opening of Boulder Junction Brewing Company in the Northwoods. Later in the show, Trevor from Inventors Brew Club will join us, give us an opening scoop of this weekend's double header, the Homebrew Expo this Friday, and the Winter Beer Invitational on Saturday. And you do not want to go anywhere because we are dropping a massive announcement at the end of the show, Joe. And when I say massive, I'm not understating that. But Joel, where do we start tonight?
well, we're going to start with one of the things that you mentioned off the top, and that is that the long-awaited grand opening of Boulder Junction Brewing Company is imminent. They officially announced that a week from this Friday, they will officially be opening their doors. And I know this has been a long time coming for them, and that is to put it mildly. I know that this is something that I know that they wish would have happened a long time ago, but we are finally here. I know that the community has been chomping at the bit. I feel like every time that they have posted, there have been people commenting on their posts, asking about when they're going to be opening, if they can know what the first beers are going to be, all this kind of stuff. And they've been pretty, Boulder Junction, the folks up there, Ian's, they've been tight-lipped. Ian and Tracy have been tight-lipped with all that stuff. So I am very anxious to see the posts that come out on the 30th, as well as that weekend, because I'm just excited to see what the finished product looks like, both for the tap room, what beers they got going on. And first and foremost, we're just excited for our friends Ian and Tracy. I mean, this is just a massive accomplishment. This is a very small community that has not had a brewery. It adds to the craft brewery scene up in the Northwoods. And yeah, I know that you're hoping to get up there at some point here in the not too distant future, Greg.
Yeah, Joel, would you like to read Ian's statement or should I?
You can go ahead and he
Or
sent it to you, so you can go ahead and do this one.
after the 7 years of planning, y'all, 2 years in construction, 2 months of brewing, the Boulder Junction Brewing Company is ready to welcome you to great brews and kindness. We're looking forward to opening our doors at 1 p.m. on January 30th for a grand opening. Please join us for the celebration as we usher in the new era of brewing up here on Main Street and Boulder Junction. They will have food from tip ups and from 4 to 7, and they want to see everybody there. I would love to be there, but I don't think I will be there. But that's from owner Ian Brown, co founder and co owner. And he's excited. They are excited. And we are excited. Joel?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, they basically said it there in the announcement. This has been a very long project. This was not a plug and play type of situation where I don't. They didn't even say they initially bought a building on Main Street with plans to renovate it, and then they basically got in there and became apparent. Oh no, this building cannot be renovated. And so yeah, it's tough when you have to deal with all of those obstacles. But I am just so excited for them. And you may be hearing some more about Boulder Junction here at the end of the show. A little teaser there. But next, there we go. Next up, we have a little update from Prairie du Chien, way on the far, far western side of the state. Literally can't really get any further west besides, I guess, technically like 2 blocks you could get further west on the side of the state there in Prairie du Chien, because we reached out and found that they do have a building. So Deux City is going to be building on Main Street there in Prairie du Chien. Or is it officially? Main Street? Blackhawk Avenue. So it's Blackhawk Avenue in downtown Prairie du Chien. But they said, I don't have the email in front of me, Greg. Did they say they were hoping still like later this, it's going to be sometime this year that they're hoping to open. They may have even said springish, which I think was pretty optimistic, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But again, this is another one. If you want to go back and listen to kind of the background story, this is one that we did do a podcast on last year. So if you're looking for more background information, if you live in that area, definitely go check that out. We will obviously have more updates once they have posts about, you know, some construction updates, opening, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, and there's more good stuff going on here close to me, Joel.
Yeah, and that's where I can pass you the baton because Greg got out into the very bitter cold, and this is where, you know, you think this is all fun and games for us. Greg really had to brave the elements to bring you these up-to-date photos there in DeForest.
It's a cold one. Yeah, it's a cold one. But as y'all can see, I I have close proximity to Youngblood Brewing Company here in DeForest, and as y'all can see, it is this progressing. It feels like it's accelerating, progressing. I thought I saw some brew equipment there in that first lower picture there on the left with those big windows. I thought I saw some brewing equipment in there. I'm not totally sure. You can see there's a crane going on. There's a whole lot of work going on, but it looks like they have the building closed off. So I think that they're able to start working on the inside now, even in the elements. So there will be updates for Young Blood Brewing Company coming out of Badger Beer Report. And also, I'm not sure if y'all saw, but we have a member of Badger Beer Report now. Chelsea is a family member of Youngblood. She moved from Earth Rider to Youngblood. So we not only do we have, you know, good information from there for, we have somebody in house there. So we will be all over Youngblood opening the soft open, everything. We will let you know about everything that's going on with that. And so we're going to go from a build now, Joel, to a build that you will guaranteed be hearing more about as it develops, to an OG, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, and this is similar to when we talked about New Glarus. You know, I mentioned it's always fun when we get to talk about one of the big OGs on this show because you don't necessarily get to very often. But Lakefront just recently announced that they are going to be kind of transforming their outdoor spaces. And for those of you that have visited Lakefront in Milwaukee, you may know that there is a large, I would call it unsightly lot next door to them along the river. And they announced, I believe these articles were just from less than a week ago, that they would be turning these into a 34,000 square foot outdoor space that would include lots of, you know, outdoor seating, whether, you know, cabana style buildings, picnic tables. There's also going to be a children's play area. And one article quoted Russ saying that this is something that they wanted to really kind of focus in and hone in on because that has become more common in a lot of venues, is having spaces that can allow families to come and visit more easily, have things for the kids to do. So obviously as a father, I will be very intrigued to see what that looks like. It's obviously very cold right now to be thinking about what these outdoor spaces will be like, but I am very excited about this. Lakefront is already a top-notch brewery to visit. They already upgraded their outdoor spaces once since I moved here to Milwaukee, when they kind of transformed that little upper balcony area, as well as kind of, you know, doing the lower area along the river up a little bit more too. So yeah, this is just going to complement their amazing beer hall that they have. And yeah, I don't think we had any specific timeline mentioned. But I guess he was, it technically still needs approval as of late, but Russ was going to be presenting it to them, I believe last week, the proposals. So hopefully we get good news out of that. And either way, yeah, very, very exciting stuff for the Milwaukee craft beer scene to have another large outdoor space like this, as Milwaukee is obviously known for its beer gardens, and this is just going to continue to complement all that's going on there. Oh, I think you're muted, Greg. I don't think I can't hear you, Greg.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Well, listen, Lakefront is they just keep rolling and rolling. It's just nice for us to have something to talk to them about. And what really struck me really quick, Joel, is that so you see where the new place is going to be, y'all. You can see it there, and they're going to have some looks like nosy neighbors there, Joel. And I think
Possibly.
that kind of relates to where we're going next.
Yes. So this is another little update here. Nosy Neighbor Brewing, who we mentioned is the first brewery that's going to be working with New Barons there as they start this whole brewery incubator setup. They got their full brewery in there. They've been taking lots of steps, putting in the different plumbing and, got all the tanks in. I saw that they had another recent post saying that they are basically just waiting on some final T's to get crossed on paperwork, and they can get the ball rolling soon. So I'm optimistic and hopeful that the next time you hear from us, we will have an update on Nosy Neighbor beer, which I would, being able to get some of that beer there down there in Bayview at New Barons. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff for them. I'm just really anxious to see how this process goes. As someone that's very interested in this new kind of model that New Barons is doing, how this is going to look from, obviously from the business side of things, but also just from, a patron side of things. When you go in, how is this going to look and function, in terms of promotion and how they're going to mix that? Is it just going to be a pilot project where it's kind of all of it's out? Because when you go to pilot project, they got all the beer. They got beer from 5-6 different brands. They got merch from 5 or 6 different brands. So I'm curious to see what that ends up looking like. Obviously, this is not to the same scale. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but yeah, very excited for Nosy Neighbor. And yeah, I will be down there whenever their beers start coming out. I will be down there ASAP to give you the full report.
And they're ready to talk to us. They just
Yes.
want to get a little bit more into the process, y'all,
Yes.
before they reach out and actually engage to let us know what's going on. So that's coming really soon. And
Yes.
another one that feels like it's coming really soon is
Shattered Glass. And this was one that we didn't really have a whole lot to go off of for a long time, Greg. And if we hadn't been, talking to them, we probably wouldn't have. We did manage to kind of reach out. You were able to talk with Daniel, who is kind of the owner and will be manager and brewer there at Shattered Glass in Beaver Dam. For those that don't remember, this is going to be a full new build there in downtown Beaver Dam, right on the water. It looks like it's going to be an excellent venue. Got some water views. Seems like it's going to be a great spot, great views. But then their plans and the designs have officially been approved by the city, and they're going to be breaking ground when it warms up, which by the looks of things will not be for a while. But hopefully, here in March, I would guess maybe April. And for those of you that are impatient and don't want to wait that long, they are going to be serving at the Fond du Lac Brew Fest again. I remember that we covered that when they did that last year. He did even include that they're going to have their flagship hazy IPA Love Letter, as well as a Zagnut-infused nitro white stout called Car Surfing Bear. There's a lot going on there, from the style to the name.
I want to see the
Yeah, that's got a lot going on there. And then a possible third beer. So it's fun that we not only got an update on, kind of some of the build plans with Shattered Glass, but also some information about some beers that you could see from them, both here in the more present as well as in the future when they are opening up. Obviously breaking ground here this year. I would, it'd be optimistic. Maybe they will be able to still be here, part of what I'm sure we'll call the class of 2026, hoping for a, smooth build for them. But we shall see. But exciting news nonetheless out of Beaver Dam, Greg.
Yeah, and shout out to Dan from Shattered for being open and giving us information and letting everybody know. So we'll be covering them. It looks like right up to their opening, which is fun. And with that being said, Joel, we have some ones that we still are keeping an eye on.
Oh yeah, we got a lot we're keeping an eye on here, Greg. I know that you have been in contact with some folks over at Ope, possibly, kind of talking about they've got quite the project going in up there in Appleton. I know we've kind of talked about that quite a bit. Clockwork, I've reached out, talked to Adam a bit, and we will have a lot more working with him as he kind of is getting paperwork things with the city worked out. And once things are kind of more straightened out and he's able to get closer to breaking ground, we will have a lot more content and a lot more information coming from him. And Radix, I'm hoping we get some more updates on soon. I did talk to them. I reached out to them here pretty earlier this month, and they wanted to, they said to reach back out again in February with the, hopes of, I'm sure, opening soon. Solemn Oath, still waiting to hear when that transition will happen in Bayview. And then, Lost Apostle, your friend Badger up there, Greg. I think we may, we may see some movement up there still. We're hoping to hear from him again soon. Derriere, I know they just had, what did they posted that they got some, they had they had the health inspector passed all the health inspection stuff. So that's a step in the right direction. So I know we'll hopefully hear from John at some point about acronym. And what do you have in terms of your own updates, if you have any, with Ope or Lost Apostle, and anything in those regards?
Ope, let's save Ope for the next time for sure. That's just going to be a big, huge build, y'all, and we'll get to that. It's just going to be a monster place. And bigger than Ope now. There's also we haven't really heard much, but you recently were at the Solemn Oath event over at Supermoon, right?
Yes.
Did we get any news out of there?
No, you couldn't talk to anybody in there, Greg. It was shoulder to shoulder the whole time. It was absolutely packed. There was not a whole lot. I did briefly talk with Rob from Supermoon, but we basically talked about stuff between the two of us, not so much what was going on with Solemn Oath. But we may have to reach out here and hopefully get some intel. I would imagine, I don't know how long of a time it'll take to change all that stuff over, but that's one that could just pop out of nowhere, because again, it's not like it's a big build out. They're not having to haul in a whole bunch of brewery equipment and get things going. Like, should be pretty plug and play in terms of just having a tap room there. So we shall see.
All right. Well, moving along here, we always like to honor our anniversaries, and this month we have some very impactful ones, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Central Waters, first of all, being from the 90s, I mean, when you think barrel-aged beers in Wisconsin, you can't do that without thinking of Central Waters. And now not only in Amherst, but here in Milwaukee. I mean, they have so many iconic beers. Vintage, I know you and I enjoyed a lunch together at Vintage last year, and they've won several GABF medals. They won Brew Pub of the Year.
Scaredy Cat.
Yeah, I mean, so another big award winner. Carbon 4 has been around forever. Fantasy Factory, and then you have a lot of some new age ones too.
The Bears still suck.
Yeah, and you still have
good beer.
You have a lot of the new age guys. Explorium, which has been uber successful, obviously, with their expanding to another location and then buying all the Good City all Good City as well.
Yeah, Mike.
We both love Brewery Nonic. As well as I'm a huge fan of North Pillar. I'm very excited for them celebrating their second anniversary here very soon, here in just 5 days. I believe this upcoming weekend there should be events going on at North Pillar for those in the Waukesha area, and then Hoya Hop House coming in here. They just celebrated 1 year. And I know that you had I know you had a nice little visit there when you stopped by there last year.
Okay. You summed it up pretty good with all of them. And I actually was at Southern Shore, Washburn.
Yeah, you were.
And and shout out to Hoya Hop House. 1 year. That's great. You got to, you always got to make it through your first year. Actually, oh no, I've never been to Rock County. hockey beer. I need to get to Rock County. But with that being said, Joel, you were recently at a place that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, one thing we're looking to do here in 2026 is highlight some of our brewery visits, Greg, that you and I are making around the state. This gives us an opportunity to highlight breweries that are not, going through a construction project or an expansion or opening or closing, because there's so many amazing breweries and we want to take the time to shout them out. I was just up in Grafton and stopped by Sahale Ale Works. And this is a really nice quality brewery. They're now owned by our friends over at Gathering Place. This was part of a new build there, right there, kind of on the edge of downtown Grafton. And I really enjoyed my beer there. I was up there Sunday, watched part of the AFC Championship game while I was there. The picture with me in it is with the Dunkel, which was quite good. But if I was to go back again, I would definitely be getting that Belgian farmhouse ale there that is in the picture on the right. That was a very high quality beer, very, very good. If you are in Grafton or around Grafton and not had that beer yet, I definitely recommend going in and checking out that one. But yeah, really nice little tap room. Several dogs in there. It's a dog friendly spot for those that want to bring your canine friends around. But yeah, really glad that I was able to do that. I will also be hitting up Deadbird here later this week and doing some work down there, getting some content stuff. So excited about that. And Greg, you have some brewery visits as well coming up that you're excited to highlight.
Yeah, I'll be dipping in. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll let you do it.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I got it. I'll be dipping into the Oshkosh area tomorrow and Thursday. I will be stopping in Ripon for Knuth. I'm sorry, Knuth Brewing. Knuth Brewing. I got to get that right. In Ripon, that's going to be fun. Meeting up with Dave, hopefully for the first time. He was on our podcast a couple months ago. Nice, wonderful, mainstream Americana brewery. Love it up there. Then I will be headed to Oshkosh for Fifth Ward, Bare Bones, and Fox River. I've never been to any of these. I know Joel has been. And then on Thursday, coming back, I believe I will be able to hit Fond du Lac and see if our friend Lyle is working. Apparently he might be. And then I'm going to swing by Hubbleton Tap Room, which I've never been to. So there will be 4 breweries that I've never been to in this trip, and 2 that I am revisiting. And Fond du Lac, going back to Fond du Lac is I'll tell you why, since I've been there recently. Outside of the wonderful beer that Lyle makes there, So Joe, we have it's a new year, so we have
a new map.
Yeah, you have comments about the map that is so defined here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you start with a blank map at the beginning of each year, Greg, and it's just nice to have one on there. I threw it on there, even though it is technically not officially opened yet, but Boulder Junction does have the grand opening date, so I put them on there, which is very exciting. And then similarly, brewery closings. I did mention in our last episode when we talked about the TAC Brewing closing announcement that they did not officially close until January 1st. And so I included them here because they did close technically in 2026. So they are the first input here onto this map. Hopefully this map stays as blank as can be throughout the year. Meanwhile, the third map still has a lot going on. And we have a couple more here that we think are going to be crossing the line here pretty soon, or within a month or two. So expect some of these names and logos to pop over to the openings map here in the not too distant future.
There's just a lot going on here. When you look at this map, like just as a whole, there's a lot going on. It covers the state from west to east and north and south.
Yeah,
that you like to see. You like to see that reclamation project of agonic. I can't. Did I get it right?
Agonic. Yeah.
Agonic. Never gonna get that one right. And again, you have the old respectfully madness. You have quiet worlds. I mean, you have an expansion in the Dells. So much to love here, Joel.
Yeah. Well, Nicolet's another one I'm excited for them to open up. Hopefully later this year too, as they're building out in De Pere. So yeah, a lot to love there. And that takes us here to our numbers, kind of recrunching everything after the new year. This is where we're sitting at 208 breweries, 39 additional taproom locations, 20 that fall into the other category, which leaves us at 267 total number of brewery locations in the state of Wisconsin. So, one thing we wanted to highlight again here, because you can expect to hear more about this very soon, is as we talked about last show at the end of 2025, we are starting a Patreon here at the Badger Beer Report. And that is going to have a lot more different types of content, more exclusive content, a weekly newsletter, possibly, Discord. You're going to have like online happy hours, all sorts of things for subscribers of different levels to engage with us more in depth. We're very excited about this, hoping to have that coming out here within the next month or so. I will say that keep your eyes peeled, because we will be doing a live show breaking down Patreon, what will all entail, what will all be available, all of the benefits, etc., etc. And that will be coming pretty soon. We have the details for the most part ironed out, so we will be doing a separate live stream standalone, so that way we can just focus on all of that. But it's something that you and I are very excited to share with people. I've been working very hard on this, weekly newsletter that I'm going to be cranking out for all the beer lovers around the state. Something that I'm very, very proud of and excited about. But overall, I think, Greg, the thing we're most excited about is being able to engage more with people, like, from all over the state, and being able to be more personable with all of the folks that are watching, and having more of a dialogue with them, and getting to share more content with them, essentially.
Yeah. And coming up soon, we'll be able to give you more, but there's going to be more, access to us, like Joel said. And, we'll be able to talk about some things that we can't really say publicly, like rumors that we can't confirm.
Yep.
That many of them come true because we have good sources and we talk to good people. And, so it's going to be fun. We've been asked about it numerous times. So we are working on this to make sure that it's a nice finished product for y'all when we push that out. And speaking of a finished product, Joel, we have our guest who I think is a finished product, or maybe not. We'll let him decide whether he is or not. But his name is Trevor Thurston from Inventors Brew Pub, and we're going to bring him up right now on Port Washington. What's going on?
Hey,
Trevor?
how you guys doing?
Can you hear us? We can hear you. Great.
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Excellent. You have a big weekend coming up, and Joel wants to ask you about what's going on Friday.
Yeah. So Trevor, can you kind of tell us a little bit about this whole Homebrews Expo, how the idea kind of came into being, and what people should expect coming to an event like this?
Totally. So, I mean, obviously, we all come from homebrewing roots, right? It's all about the community, getting people together to, enjoy some of the club beers. We'll have beer barons, we'll have Sheboygan Sudsers, and the Brewligans all will be pouring some of their homebrew. There's some vendors there. There is a swag table supplied by True Blue Brew Homebrewing Supply out in West Dallas, and an equipment swap, which is pretty cool. It's an opportunity for people to have things laying around in their basement, like we all do, and maybe trade them for something that they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Should be super fun. It should be like a really cool community focused event. It's free to get in, and we'll also announce the winners from the homebrew competition that was judged on Sunday.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I will plan to be there for parts of it for sure. So if you see me, make sure to pop around and say hi. I'm sure Trevor will be running around and being quite busy with everything. But yeah, that's very exciting for you. I know this is a big thing. And Greg, what else did you have any other follow-ups for that, or do you want to move on here to the big event on Saturday?
Nope. Trevor, did you have anything more to say about Friday, or any any more into that, or
Just so you know, the heat is working. It'll be nice and cozy inside.
And that's going to be the big key, because right now, yeah, we've had some frigid temps out here.
Really cold. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, what would give you the idea that doing a winter beer fest in January and sub-degree weather would be something that we should all do, Trevor? Let's go. Let's hear about it.
Hey man, we're all Wisconsinites. We know what the cold is about. We get around. It's all good. We're gonna have a great time.
No,
and
no lie.
We are inside too. Where it is going to be inside. It's not like this is one of the outdoor beer fests.
Exactly. You're inside. You're looking out the big windows at the harbor and the geese in the harbor, and just letting the wind blow by. It should be wonderful. And we have great warming beers to shake off that chilly coldness.
You want to talk about some of the big ones we see here? I know you're excited for that.
Yeah, I'm super excited about. Gosh, I was looking at the list today. They're starting to flow in. McFleshman's is bringing a rye barrel aged Doppelbock and a vanilla stout. Those right up my alley. There's some barley wines in there. There's a lot of bourbon barrel aged stuff. A lot of bourbon barrel aged stuff for sure. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any of them right now.
What's Lakefront bringing?
Oh yeah, Lakefront's bringing it's a smoked oyster rye beer.
Oh,
it's the My Turn, the Aiden My Turn series beer. Yeah, I really dig oyster stout, so I'm definitely down for that.
I know you want to talk about your Deadbird beer.
I do. So I did a collaboration beer with Deadbird and Proximity Malt, and that is an Imperial Black IPA at 8.6% and 60 IBUs. It's pretty darn yummy. I think Greg might have had one when he was at the Beer and Cheese Fest this past weekend. You didn't have it? You didn't try it? Oh, come on, man.
I'm going to be at Deadbird on Thursday, so if they have some, I'll be sure to try it.
Yeah, he actually canned some up.
I'm staying off screen. Sorry, Trevor. What'd you say, buddy?
He canned some up, which is pretty cool. You can get it in a can, which we don't have. We don't do any canning or distribution, so it was cool to see what it looked like in a can.
Yeah, and Trevor, you brewed up what 3 or 4 beers yourself, so I want to tee you up on what you got, just for inventors.
Well, so I got the collaboration beers. At the Homebrew Expo, we'll also have the cash bar available, which will have some kind of neat stuff on things that I've done like recently. I'm trying to like a raspberry porter and some things like that. Some just more fun experimental kind of beers. The beer I made with Brewfinity for the beer fest is a Grodzitsky. That's a German smoked wheat beer. It's really nice, easy drinking, not too heavy on the smoke. And then Explorium, I did a pastry stout with chocolate donated by Hollander Chocolate and dark sweet cherry. And then Hollander is going to bring a sheet cake of a chocolate cherry cake, so you can try like a little piece of cake with your sample. So that'd be pretty sweet.
Joel, do you have any follow up from that?
No, I'm just excited to come and check it all out on Friday. And I know, I'm hoping that there is a really good turnout for both events. Obviously, very, very, different events for folks. So this is not a situation where you have to choose one or the other. If you're in the area, but both events are offering two very different experiences. So highly recommend checking out Adventures this weekend. You're not going to be doing anything else. It's going to be too cold to do anything else this weekend. So you might as well go to Inventors Brew Pub in Port Washington, right on the harbor, one of the best brewery views in the state of Wisconsin, and enjoy some excellent homebrew and some excellent high ABV beers on Saturday. So yeah, that's my pitch, I guess. Trevor, I guess I'll bill you later for the marketing or something. I'm just I'm very excited for you, and I'm excited to come up there and check it all out.
Yeah, it should be a hoot. We should have a great time.
All right, Trevor, we'll see you this weekend. And any last words?
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
That's a good last word.
Yes.
How about it?
So really, Trevor. So it's this Saturday, Port Washington. The Homebrew Expo is free, right?
The Homebrew Expo is free to get into, and then on Saturday we have a VIP hour from 11 to 12. That's $65 a ticket. It kind of gets you into that first session as well, which is noon to 2. So you can have 3 hours for $65, or you can get a ticket to the first session for $45, or the second session, which is 3 to 5 for $45. Unlimited pours. You get the really great glass. They're 2-ounce pours. Yeah, it should be great.
And there's food available, right? Because
sure, yeah, we have food
restaurant.
available. We'll have it. Yes, we are. We'll have a server available to do take your order tableside.
Perfect.
All right. Well, this sounds like fun. We will see you this weekend in Port Washington, Trevor. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Cheers. And now, Joel, we have something special for y'all.
We do.
Very special for y'all.
This is a very big announcement. This is, I would say, on par, like I know we've had some big announcements with Patreon and everything, but in terms of a singular entity of a thing, this is big.
So I don't remember how I was going to prepare for this moment because it's pretty big. And so I'm actually just going to tell a little bit of the story about how it happened, y'all. I was approached by Scott from Vault 202. He had been on our show early during his build with Joel. And we had been in contact with him early. We were very impressed with him early. We told y'all about his resume, everything. So I rolled into Vault and was completely impressed by everything that I was involved there. And the second time I got to Vault, Scott pitched me on a collaboration idea. And I thought it was interesting, but I didn't think it kind of worked out in the parameters that Scott had approached with. But I was interested in doing something with Scott because he's a veteran and I love everything about Vault, especially those milk tubes, y'all. Gotta get the milk tubes. No. It's everything up there. Just go and just do the milk tubes. Just get pizza. Anyway, I didn't come here for a Vault collab commercial, but it's gonna be one, y'all. So that being said, the conversation kind of moved a little bit with Chris Strasner and me, and we talked to Scott, and we came up with the idea, since Joel and I have been tracking since we started the Brewery Report in January. Was the first one in January? Yep. The first one was in February.
No, I think it was January.
Barely a year, y'all. We're doing it now. Barely a year. This may be our year anniversary.
Probably right around then. Yeah.
This is interesting. And so since we've been doing that, y'all, one of the things that Joel has gotten the love of, not that he didn't love it before, but I think we both have loved the new builds and the new breweries and what they're bringing and where they're at and why are they here? Because it's a crazy time to start a brewery, and all those different stories are really. Joel and I have been to every single one of these new breweries. We even at the end of the year started calling them the class of 25 because we feel they've graduated. Many of them have been through years and years of building, of planning, of interruptions, of things not working out, of bleak days, of days where they thought they were going to have their brewery and something big happened. And it was this. I mean, there's just stories all over the place, y'all, with this. So, what Scott and I basically in the Badger Beer crew came up with is Joel, show the graphic, buddy.
Ooh, that's not the right graphic.
Thanks, StreamYard. This is the graphic. The class of 25.
So yeah.
It's whole so it's all the breweries that brewed their first beer, y'all, in the state of Wisconsin last year are going to get together to do a beer collab with us and Vault 202 in late February and brew a beer in celebration of all of them coming out in 25 together. And it's going to be a great, fun, wonderful, maybe the biggest beer ever in Wisconsin.
I mean, in terms of the number of breweries involved.
In one collaboration beer, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find it. If y'all can find it out, we would love that. But that aside, I have to note, Bull Falls has not confirmed, but we are still hoping that they do. Boulder Junction, y'all notice there. Y'all see it's in the class of 25, right? And they didn't even open yet. Mixed signals here. But what Scott and I came up with as far as the requirement for the brewery is that they brewed their first batch of beer in the year of 2025. And Boulder Junction did that on December 7th, I believe. So Boulder Junction is part of the class of 25 and they've accepted. So they're in. One admission here that you will not see is Hoya Hop House. And they cannot fit this beer into their brewing schedule, but we still wish them the best. We love them. Actually, I may visit there soon. They're really close to me, so good times. It just didn't work out for them. But Joel, before I toss it over to you, I do want to name all the breweries here,
100%.
because it's wonderful and it's great. We got both.
Oh, we can't hear you now, Greg.
Boulder Junction opens January 30th. We have Bull Falls in Wausau. We have Vault 202, which is going to brew the beer and distribute the beer and help distribute beer to all the other breweries. We have Tailwinds, which we know that Joel has visited there, talked to Rick there. Joel has really good ties there. We have Last Ditch, which I visited 3 weeks ago, my birthday weekend. Had a really good old time with them. Met Justin, the wife. It was just a really great drive there. We have St. Francis, the resurrection of St. Francis, y'all. Y'all know it went away. It came back. We have the resurrection of Mobcraft. We have Lombardi Brewing, which is, obviously it says with itself, and it speaks for itself, the name. And with the coming in with the what was that? Cool City Lights place. And then we have Brewed Omen, who's been working for 5, 6, 7 years, it feels like, in development. Finally, Brew Bar, Craft Beer Bar coming out as a brewery this year. And then last and certainly not least, Lyle and Fond du Lac Brewing coming out with some of the most excellent beer in this whole state, in my personal opinion. And they're not even a year old. So Joel, a lot going on here. Brewery man, who's been to a lot of breweries, who's been to many of these.
Yeah, the only
what
ones
do you
that
got with this, buddy?
The only ones I haven't been to. I haven't been to the new iteration of Bull Falls, and obviously I haven't been to Boulder Junction yet since their doors are not officially opened. But I have been to the other 8. And yeah, you're rocking one of them right there for Last Ditch there. But yeah, this was something that when it started off, we had, kind of closer relationships with a few of these people. And you and I kind of talked about, oh, like we'll invite, we'll do a couple of these. And then it got bigger very quickly where, you said, oh, well, we should probably widen it a little bit. And then it's like, well, at that point, we might as well invite everybody. And we didn't think we were going to get a essentially 100% response rate, very close to, but here we are. And if Bull Falls does in fact, come in and join us, that will be 10 breweries brewing the same beer. And just to clarify for folks, this beer will be released at all 10 of these breweries. There will be events at all of these breweries. I know we don't have a weekend or we don't have dates picked out for that yet. That will obviously be something that we promote heavily when the time comes. We will hopefully have representation at many of them. But yeah, I know I will hopefully be at several of them. This is just, it is a massive, massive project, and it is something that we are very excited about. And yeah, I mean, it's just really cool. I mean, to have have a something like this come together where you're going to have 10 breweries, producing a beer with you. It's a very unique setup. It's a very unique, I don't know. Are we waiting to talk about beer itself and everything?
There's
don't
no
know.
reason. No.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the release. The release is going to be May. We can firmly say, I think, that the release is May, first weekend in May.
I shouldn't want to give exact dates yet or anything out to folks because we don't,
First weekend in May. I'm going to give out exact dates.
Okay.
How about that?
There you go.
But I'm not sure where, whether we haven't talked to the breweries, y'all, about
who's releasing when
and when. Yes. Mm-hmm. And also that coordination. So there'll be that. And then Joel, you can give the name of the beer if you would like.
It's going to be called New Kids on the Bach. And
New Kids on the Maibach.
On the Maibach, yes, that's right. New Kids on the Maibach. And a little play on words there, because obviously these are the new kids on the block. And we are brewing a Maibach with them. So for all you fans of that darker, maltier style lager, you will have a treat coming up in the beginning of May. We are just delighted. You will see a lot of content from Brew Day when Greg and I are going to be up there with all of these brewers and owners. It's going to be an absolute hoot. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, I know. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more info coming out of there. And once we do have dates, because as we kind of said, I think that, some of these events may be staggered that weekend so that we can try to make more than one of them. We will be very thorough with telling you when it's being released at each location, so that especially if you're in the Milwaukee area, you're going to have a few different options and a few different opportunities to get the beer. But yeah, very, very exciting stuff, Greg. I mean, it's like you said, this is a really big deal. To get a beer, a collab, get our collab beer, in 10 different breweries around the state. It's pretty darn cool.
Well, again, and shout out to them. Without them, this would not be anything.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And they are the engine for this. They are the reason for this, and they are the celebration of this. And having us be able to help enable it is, I think, the amazing part that we love. But honestly, man, there's just so many great breweries here. I hope that with this beer, everybody can find out who and remember, because there's still people are like, Tailwinds is open.
Yeah,
things like that are going around. So like, I know none of y'all know who Last Stitch is. I know that. I know this for a fact. I do. There's so many folks that don't know Last Stitch is even a thing. So and then, when you have remote breweries like Boulder Junction and Bull Falls, they definitely don't come into our sphere down here in Madison and Milwaukee. Like just top of mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then even Brewed Omen is kind of out in the middle of like nowhere. I mean, it's close, but you have to be intentional to go to Hartford. You have to know. And I think knowing where these places are, you know, I someone asked me last week, wait, Mobcraft is back?
Yeah.
Yes. So there are definitely awareness issues with new breweries, even ones that come in with a big pedigree name like Mobcraft and St. Francis, Joel. People still don't remember that they're back. So I think this collaboration is going to be really excellent. And then lastly, the networking within the brewers and them meeting each other and being in the same place, having all that energy. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. And whatever relationships keep continue, and hopefully it helps them foster their going forward as in this crazy time to be a brewery. Like
Yeah.
crazy. So many things going on, so many things to deal with. You got a changing demographic of beer. You got a crazy, respectfully, government that is all over the place with making prices go haywire, whether it be on the food side, whether it be on the beer side. You have all kinds of things going on with breweries, y'all. So it's just really excellent that we had, you know, 12 last year. And that's not even the expansions, y'all. So that's not
Yeah.
Infinity and unfortunately, Gnarly Cedar. Um, honorable mention. I
Yeah.
love Gnarly Cedar. I love my visit there. I would love, but they have been brewing y'all for a long time. They've been a brewery for a long time. They just opened up a wonderful, beautiful expansion that is their only brewery now, but that didn't unfortunately fit. So we have so many good things happening with our, and this is what this really means here, in my opinion, that we have so much really good things happening with our new breweries to add, Joel, to the lakefronts and the Central Waters and the Sheeps and the Nonics and the Giant Jones and the Working Drafts and McFleshman's and Appleton Beer Factory and on and on. But inventors and you know what I mean, and Supermoon. So summing it up, Joel.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna
I was
let
gonna
you
say,
sum it
yeah, I
up.
mean, it's very special that, to connect these brewers, because not all of them were aware of these other new breweries. When
Yes.
we brought it up. So I mean, that is something to be said there. And we
Yes.
will be providing infographics on these breweries with little tidbits of information on them. Both, all in one, as well as individual infographics on each brewery. So that way to highlight each one individually throughout this process in the lead up. And we shouted them out already, obviously, and we talked about, that this wouldn't be happening with all these breweries, but this really wouldn't be happening without Scott at Vault 202. It is his leadership taking this on as someone that is obviously, being the home base for brewing this beer, inviting all of us. Inviting all of us to come up to Appleton to brew this beer and to help with the distribution of this beer. So Scott, obviously we thank you, and we are looking forward to coming up there and enjoying some beer with you very soon. But yeah, more to come on this. We're very excited for the class of 25 new kids on the Maibach collaboration brew coming out here in late spring.
It's definitely giving off big ditch energy.
Yeah.
Joel. And on that note, Joel, we're gonna get out of here. It's been a busy night.
Yeah.
A lot going on, especially in-house. So Joel, take us out, please.
And as always, whether it's where you are visiting or where you are living, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.